fédérations qui sont concernées peut-être par le tirage au sort derrière.
Wochenende von Cologne sind Playoff-Matches Frauen. Vor dem Beachhead sofort auf.
Ça commence à pile à l'heure, c'est ça?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 minutes until the start of the press conference. If you have your mobiles with you, could you please switch them off? We will be starting at 4 o'clock on the dot because we will be live streaming today's event. So if you haven't found a place yet, please find a seat and we will start in a few moments' time. Thank you.
Sur EHF
Guck dich nieder.
Instead to say, please sit down. Instead to say, please sit down.
Il faut que je parle on parle dedans, c'est ça? Donc il faut qu'on le tourne un peu. Okay. Ok.
You're first. It's more stable when you...
Yeah, but you were first.
It's more stable when you have it in front of your eyes, or what do you mean?
No, when the angle is higher.
So I see.
If this go down...
Yeah, but if you have to speak about it, you have it. This picture, you have it here in your front of your eyes. That doesn't work properly. Now you can. When you, Martin, when Pecha will speak, we will give posts to him, so forth. like in a real press conference.
Then my mistake.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Paris and welcome to the closing press conference of the Women's EHF Euro 2018. I'd like to welcome all of our guests here today. We have, as usual for this press conference and draw event, a full house, including the presidents of the national federations and also the representatives, media representatives, and also those of you watching at home on our live stream. I first of all introduce our guests on the platform. Michael Wiedera, President of the European Handball Federation, Predrag Boskovic, Vice President of the European Handball Federation, Martin Hausleitner, EHF Secretary General, Sylvie Pascal Lagarigue, President of the EHF Euro 2018 Organising Committee, and Alexander Veracci, the Managing Director of the Organising Committee. Quick overview of our event today. We have a lot to get through. We have the beginning with the Women's EHF Euro press conference. Then we move on to a presentation from our colleagues from Sweden, Austria, and Norway for the Euro 2020. Then our colleagues from Norway for the Women's EHF Euro 2020. And also for the draw for the 2019 IHF World Championships playoffs, which will take place right at the end of today's event. But first, we're here for the EHF Euro. So let's take a look back at some of our experiences from the last 2 weeks.
This goal has become the all-time EHF top goal scorer.
So we open the press conference with the President of the EHF, Michael Wiedera.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you are a salesman, you must be convinced about your own product, otherwise you cannot sell the product. And I have the feeling that for us today it's very easy to sell the product women's handball and the Euros, having seen exciting matches yesterday in front of such a crowd of enthusiastic people being interested in handball, but also on the level of the game. But coming to the ordinary agenda, on behalf of the European Handball Federation and the tournament management, I would like to thank the organizing committee, and especially those two persons sitting next to me representing the organizing committee, Sylvie and Alexander, for their work. I would like to thank also my colleagues from the EHF office who were really working hard within the last 2.5 weeks to provide good conditions for the teams, hopefully also for the media representatives, for having a good championship. It's also the time to thank the host cities for their committed work. We have seen many volunteers who really contributed to the positive atmosphere in this championship. This was the first Euro ever in France, which is amazing that we had 25 Euros before in Europe on men's and women's level and never one in France as one of the leading countries in our sport. But we had a championship which is really giving good signals to the outside world. And the quality of women's handball, the level of the matches we have seen, is really adding to this product in a positive way. The number of spectators we have seen, and we shall not forget, and you will receive later on a much more detailed report, that the tickets were sold individually for the matches, proves that the matches were interesting, not only for the travelers watching the games of their teams, but also for the locals being interested in our sport. TV stations is a second important issue for us, and having 65 TV stations broadcasting to 130 countries is a very good figure. And I've got a list with several countries where records were broken. Now maybe J.J. Rowland can do that later on. I just can say that the ratings in the major countries, and logically also in those who are competing in the final phase of the championship, the semi-finals and the finals, were extremely high, extremely good. So it's a step forward for women's handball. The executive committee of the EHF today had their meeting, and we were discussing the development of women's handball on the different levels. And it was mentioned several times that you cannot see national teams isolated. It's not only the Euro, so to say, the end of the road for national teams in Europe, also the start to World Championships and Olympic Games, but it is the whole process. And since we have decided to have the Champions League for women as of 2020 in identical form to the men's Champions League with 2 groups of 8, this seems a good step on the highest level. To have the European League, the second level, in a group phase with the final 4 as well is also a reasonable step. Coming to the national teams, we decided today to carefully analyze the situation for having Euros with 24 teams in the future. We have a good chance for that because the 2024 Women's Euro is not awarded right now, which consequently means that we will look into this from all sides, including the situation of the organizers, including the qualifications, including financial aspects, organizational aspects. But we are on the way to increase the number of female national teams in the Euro final tournaments. It's not only about the finals, it's also about motivating national federations to invest into women's handball, to develop women's handball, so that they can see a much better chance to qualify for a final tournament in the future. I think it's really breaking news, and together with the decision of the International Federation to increase the number of participants in the World Championships, and here for women as well, to 32 teams, it's really a positive news for the women's handball world. What remains is that from my point of view, we just have to wish the 4 teams which have shown a great performance yesterday that tomorrow in front of a huge crowd they will produce 2 more matches like that, and that we all can enjoy this event tomorrow as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. So now we pass the floor to our hosts and the organizing committee president, Sylvie Pascal Lagarigue.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first EHF Euro organized in France is on the verge of ending. For the OC, as well as the French Handball Federation, this event has meant much more than 17 days of competition. Women's sport is becoming more and more appealing in France and all over the world. It needs worldwide major international sport events in order to contribute to its development and practice in the broad sense. I would like to remind that the French Handball Federation decided to apply to the 2018 Women's European Championship in order to promote women's sport, women's handball, and leave a strong and long-term heritage in our country. I could spend a lot of time describing what has been done around and for the event during 2 years of intense promotion and preparation, but there are 3 important points to be remembered more than the others. The national reach of the EHF Euro 2018, with more than 500 events certified handballissime everywhere in France. the culture of sharing and openness is illustrated by our action with demos and toothspray that symbolized our desire to promote handball among all social professional categories. Leaving a lasting legacy by offering very wide coverage of women's handball, which should have positive repercussions on the development of the French Women's Handball League. The journey of the EHF Euro 2018 comes to an end. We have been working hard to offer the best possible experience for all participants, and it is with pride that I can say that the organization of this Women EHF Euro 2018 is the proof that we are all moving in the right direction to the promotion of women's sport. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. And back to the EHF, and I'd like to ask the Vice President, Predrag Boskovic, for his words.
Thank you, JJ. At the beginning, I would like really to thank you all of participating teams, players and coaches and technical staff for making this event a great success. We all know that Europe has the best teams in the world, and there is no easy matches in our competition. That's why we are bringing a new standards on this game. And after so many years, we knew that we will have a new champion before the final weekend. And I really would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all 4 teams who reached the final weekend and for their tremendous success. The second, what we are very proud of is the amount of technology we implemented in this championship. I would just mention a few of it. Goal line technology, completely new one. Goal line technology as well. Substitution area cameras, timeout buzzer, instant video replay, digital score sheet for teams, coaches, and delegates and referees. And of course, the first time we implemented implementation of tracking technology with the eyeball developed by Select and Kinexon. The third, but not less important fact that we are also very proud of is development of women's handball. And we use this opportunity of this final weekend and the whole championship to strengthen the potential and the level of women's handball. That's why we organize so many events aside of this competition, which we promote the female handball and to try to bring it closer to the surface. We organize here Women's Handball Board, also Women's Handball Convention on Friday, as well as EHF can dedicate to women's handball, as well Education International Handball, third model of Master Coach and Licensing course, EHF Grassroots Marketplace, all supporting the further development of the women's game. Thank you all of you, thank you the organizer and the volunteers and all the staff included into organizing this championship.
Thank you. So now we turn back to the organizing committee and Alex Ferracci, who I'm sure will give us some more facts and figures about the last 2 weeks and what the organizing committee have achieved here in France.
Yes, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, one day prior to the end of this EHF Euro 2018, we would like to take the opportunity to share with you a first assessment from the organizing committee point of view. So we can start first with, as always, with budget, just to confirm that the operating budget has been raising a final amount of 11 million euros. 52% of the revenue of the organizing committee are coming from the ticket sales. 42% are made up of subsidies coming from the national government of France, the local authorities, and the FF Handball. Regarding our expenses, 60% has been allocated to the operation, meaning the organization itself, 25% to the people costs, and 50% to the communication of this event. As organizer, I also would like to insist on one specific point, which is the volunteer program, the OC deployed, because from our side, we think it has been a great success and we are very proud of it. Just to remind that this program has been launched 1 year ago, and the OC received more than 2,000 applications. And then we've been selected 300 volunteers that has been trained. This is also something I'd like to insist on, because we've been deploying a lot of energy to train and to develop learning sessions for these volunteers so that they can welcome everyone and help the organizing committee to deliver best Euro as possible. Let's focus now on ticketing figures. Just before we go into the details, just to remind that the organizing committee had made a choice of an innovating ticketing strategy, which was based on the main principle of one ticket, one game, and as a consequence of a fixed competition schedule. We can just sum up the results of this strategy with 3 key figures. The first one is 200,000. This is the total affluence for this Euro, including tomorrow's game, because we'll be sold out tomorrow, so it's easy to count. Second point is 7, which is the number of games for which we were sold out. And then 16, which is the number of games for which we had more than 25% of attendance in the venue. So far, the organization went well from our side, even if we have had to deal with some kind of unexpected events, as only France is able to offer to Europe. But as a conclusion and before ending, I just would like to once again to thank every stakeholders of this event, and especially, of course, the whole EHF representatives and staff for their support during several months, and also our host territories that helped us to deliver this event. Thank you, and see you tomorrow for 2 fantastic games.
Thank you, Alex. Now I pass the floor to Martin Hausleitner, the EHF Secretary General.
Good afternoon. It is my part to congratulate the organizing committee of the EHF Euro on their work on to the success of the championship, what we can say already today. It was for sure one of the best championships in women's handball we have ever seen, setting a milestone in the history of women's handball. We are happy to cooperate with this organizer, who always tried to offer the best possible conditions for the ladies, for the women's handball players, for the officials, and for the working staff. The volunteers set a highlight. We had seldom experienced nice and polite and proactive volunteers reading the wishes from our lips and being always helpful and friendly, and giving this championship really a very special touch. It is time to say thanks to our media partner, media and marketing partner Infront, and to their staff who did an outstanding job creating the venues, presenting the venues here, and also find an environment for our sponsors. The sponsors, namely Engelbert Strauss, Gjensidige, Grundfos with the activation campaign for the 6th and 13th development goals for the sustainability. Intersport and Rima 1000 with a very funny ad we saw during the last 3 weeks permanently, and Unibet created a championship and made this championship possible through their financial contribution. Thanks to our partners, EHF partners, Select for balls, Salming, sport transfer for goals, and the French floor supplier, Share Floor. And it is my pleasure and my honor to thank my team, the EHF team here, the 100 referees, delegates, officials, and the EHF staff, as well as the media team, who did an outstanding job also to contribute to this Euro. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin. I have some inputs also from my role as Head of Media and Communications for the EHF. Alongside the investment on court, the Women's EHF Euro has signalled the start of a major investment from the EHF in technology, and we have a project running with our partners in front for EHF Euro 2018 and 2020 as we approach our new project with Infront and the Zone Group from 2020 to 2030. And our objective is to reach more people around the world with relevant and personalized content, to grow our sports and to bring more people to handball. We had the launch of the EHF Euro app, which had more than 25,000 downloads over the course of the last 2 weeks, and is a first step in the development of a new EHF app in the not too distant future. We had a new photo project with a team of, I would say, excellent photographers. If anyone's been following the championship on our social media channels, they took 40,000 photos over the last 2 weeks, 10,000 of which they've edited and have been put onto our channels to try and make more people see the sport. For the first time, we've also had the implementation of artificial intelligence with an Israeli startup called WSC, which has allowed our media team to produce 1,200 video clips, automated video clips during the championship, and that is about 10 times more video clips than we would ever have been able to produce before from a championship. And this video content has been shared with media partners, with federations, and also influencers around the world. This has led to almost 20 million video views on ehftv.com and on all of our owned channels during the course of the championship. We have a team of almost 25 media professionals here in France who've been working for the last 2-3 weeks, and for the first time we had a dedicated French language team because we really realized for the French market that it was also important to speak in French and then the local language. The result is that this Euro has been probably the best in terms of digital content we've produced and reach and engagement across all of our channels. And this is the first step in a major investment from the EHF in our future. On the media side too, I have to say we pride ourselves on our cooperation with the media, and we continued this in France. We had 930 TV and media representatives on site, including host broadcaster, written press, photographers, and TV guys. And I would like to thank the OC media management and the staff, and especially the volunteers, for their extremely professional approach to the championship. I think this has been, I have to say, one of the most professional approaches we've had to date at the European Championship. So thank you. Finally, and as many of you will have seen from our press release this morning, there was an executive meeting this morning, and we had some very important decisions for the future of the handball with new club structure from 2020-2021, a revamped international calendar with a longer break for our top players in the future, and also a new approach to the scheduling of our club competitions with an appointment of you in the future, and our top men's competitions being played midweek from 2020-2021. The officials from the EHF will be available, as will the officials from the OC, to talk about this topic and any EHF Euro related topics after the end of the press conference. So you're welcome to come and speak to them and conduct interviews. So that brings us to the end of the first part of today's event. I'd like to thank our guests and ask them to leave the stage, so take their seats, and then we can move on to the presentations for EHF Euro 2020. Thank you very much. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now we move to the next part, and we will start with the men's EHF Euro 2020, which will be played in, as you know, Sweden, Austria and Norway, and will be a major development for the EHF as we move to 24 teams for the first time, played in 3 nations, and also the finals in Football Arena in Stockholm. So we start with a video, and then I would ask my colleague from the Austrian Federation, Christoph Jocklik, to join on the stage.
For the first time, 3 countries, 6 cities, 24 teams, 3 days of finals. We dream about winning. We dream about new experiences. We dream about gaining memories. A championship creates dreams. Dreams we always will remember. Austria, Norway, and Sweden. Euro 2020. The journey starts today.
So if I could ask Christoph to come to the stage, and I can pass on the microphone.
A warm welcome from my side. My name is Christoph, and I'm the head of the organizational committee in Austria. Dream, win, remember. This is the slogan of the EHF Euro 2020 in Austria, Sweden and Norway. And we can promise you, this will be championships to remember. For the first time, we will see 3 countries, 6 cities, 24 teams, and 3 final days. You may ask yourself, Sweden, Austria and Norway, it's quite an unusual combination. However, we have been opponents at the beginning, we have been individual applications, but then at a later stage, we decided to join to one team and to go together for this Euro 2020. For the first time in 2020, we will bring the handball to 6 cities, which means that it's even more possible for more fans to watch the games live at the arenas. Also, our handball family is growing. In 2020, we will host 24 nations instead of 16 for the very first time. That means that we will see nations playing which have never qualified before at European Championships. Now I want to draw the attention to a very extraordinary and very impressive fact, and this is the final weekend. And this is mainly because of 2 reasons. The first one is that the finals will be played in the Tele2 Arena, which is actually a football stadium. And so we will see the biggest final venue ever with more than 22,000 spectators. The second reason is that the final weekend will be played for the first time over 3 playing days, with the semi-finals on Friday, the bronze medal game on Saturday, and the finals on Sunday. If we have a look at the playing schedule, you can see that the preliminary rounds will be played in Graz and Vienna in Austria. In Norway, we only have 1 playing venue with Trondheim, and in Sweden, we have Malmö and Gothenburg. Croatia is going to play in Graz if they qualify. Austria is playing in Vienna. Norway is going to play in Trondheim, as well as Germany if qualified. Denmark is playing in Malmö if qualified, and also Sweden is playing in Gothenburg. The main round is going to be played in Malmö and in Vienna, and the final weekend in Stockholm. If we have a short look at the playing venues, in Austria we're going to have the Wiener Stadthalle and the Grazer Stadthalle, which have been playing venues already in 2010. In Norway, we have a completely new arena, which is built still at the moment. It's the Niedrehallen. And in Sweden, we're going to have the Malmö Arena in Malmö, the Scandinavium in Gothenburg, and the Tele2 Arena in Stockholm. Finally, I want to draw your attention again on the ticket sales, which have started already now in last October. And since now we have sold already 50,000 tickets. So if you want to visit the Euro 2020 in Austria, Sweden and Norway, you should hurry up. We are looking forward to to welcoming you in Austria, Sweden and Norway. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Christoph. And now we turn to the next major EHF Euro women's event, EHF Euro 2020, which will be played in Norway and Denmark. And Kia Otnes from the Norwegian Handball Federation is here to present. But once again, I like to introduce the video so we can take a look and get a feel for what they can offer us in December 2020. Kia, if I could pass the microphone to you, you can explain a little bit more about the championship.
Thank you, JJ. Hi, everybody. My name is Kia Otnes, and I am the project manager from Norway for the Euro 2020 Women's Championship. I might have seen some of you here a year ago. Then I was presenting the Men's Championship, which we are also a part of hosting. And I thank you, Christoph, for doing the presentation this time so that you won't get too bored of me while I'm standing here presenting. And I also want to congratulate the French organizing committee on their perfect championship. We have some major shoes to fill. Together with Denmark, we are going to host the Euro 2020 Championship. It will be almost to the date 10 years since the last time we hosted this championship together. And the qualification draw in Denmark will be hosted in April, and that's when we get to know when the teams are playing each other for the qualification draw, and also finally which 16 teams that are going to qualify for the final championship. The 16 teams will be divided into 4 groups of 4 teams. And they will be played in 4 host cities. But this time we're doing it a little differently. In Trondheim, there will be played 2 preliminary rounds, as well as Herning will also have 2 preliminary rounds. And the finals will be held in Oslo. In Trondheim, we have the brand new arena, the nye Nidarøhallen, which is called, and it's supposed to be finished for the men's championship in January, and we hope that it will be finished. At least we have 1 more year to go until the women's championship. Yeah, and this will be a brand new arena with more than 8,000 spectators. In Denmark, there will be 2 preliminary rounds in Boksen. And this is also an arena you should know by now. They are having also the World Championship for men in January. So, and also they will be hosting the main round for this championship. And then the main round in Norway will be in Stavanger. Stavanger was also a host for the Euro 2008, so it's about time that they get the chance to show their skills again. And finally, since Sweden is hosting finals in a football stadium, we can't do anything worse, so we of course have to host our finals in a football stadium as well. So we're going to construct this Telenor Arena into a handball arena with over 12,000 seats. So it's going to be over 500 hours of manpower constructing grandstands so that this will be a perfect arena for handball. And finally, I would just like to say welcome to all of you to Norway and Denmark in 2020. See you there.
Thank you, Kian. In Croatia at the men's EHF Euro, we began a little tradition to the symbolic passing on of the flag from the organizing committee of the current EHF Euro to the organizers of the next EHF Euro. I say symbolically because we realize there's still one day left of the championship, so it's a symbolic gesture to pass on the responsibility for the organization of the next championships to the next organizers. So I'd like to welcome to the stage the EHF president, Michael Wiederer, the president of the OC organizing committee, Sylvie, also the president of the Norwegian and the Danish Handball Federations. Thank you very much. Now, I realize that a lot of people are on the edge of their seats actually waiting for the draw to come around. So we have a very short break while we clear the stage, and then we'll be back with the draw for the World Championship Playoffs Europe 2019. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I did promise that the break would be very short. So if you could take your seats again, we can start with the final part of the event. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could take your seats, then we can start with the final part of the event. And the sooner you know who you'll be playing against in the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to... Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Paris and welcome now to the draw for the 2019 World Championships Playoffs Europe. Obviously, the World Championships will be played in Japan and there's still some time to go before we know the final makeup of the teams that will qualify from Europe. I will pass the floor now to my colleague, Peter Sickelschmidt, who is the head of the National Teams Competitions Department within the European Handball Federation, who will guide you through the rest of the draw.
Thank you, JJ. A very warm welcome to all of you. It's a pleasure for me to stand here and to give you some information concerning the draw. It's a nice date because we have exactly 333 days prior to the throw-off on 29th of November. Until 15th of December, the World Championship will be played in Japan, and it's more than 22 years ago when the last World Championship, 1997, was also played for men in Kumamoto in Japan. And for Europe, we have 12 teams, 12 places available. Already qualified are, in the moment, the world champion of 2017 in Germany. It was France. Japan as organizer as well, and our three partners in the semi-finals, Netherlands, Romania, and Russia. And thanks, France. So all participants in the semi-finals are already qualified. The remaining teams for the qualification phase 2 will be all other participating countries, nations, federations, teams here in France. And it will be Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Spain, Germany, Hungary, Montenegro, Norway, Poland, Slovenia, Serbia, Sweden, and Austria. Austria is not participating here, but Austria is already qualified to have a proper qualification playing system as the best, as the second best, third-ranked team of the qualifiers for France. We already have played the qualification phase 1, end of November this year. And the winners of the 4 qualification groups of 4 teams each have been Belarus, Macedonia, Switzerland, and Slovakia. And we had the chance to also qualify the best second-ranked team, and this was Iceland. Altogether, 18 teams. They will be divided in 2 different pots. We have in pot 1, Denmark, Spain, Germany, Hungary, Montenegro, Norway, Slovenia, Serbia, and Sweden. And in pot 2, we have Austria, Belarus, Croatia, Czech Republic, Iceland, Macedonia, Poland, Switzerland, and Slovakia. One team of pot 1 is drawn against one team of pot 2. The team which is drawn first has home right in the first leg. And the playing dates, last information, the playing dates will be for the first leg 31st of May to 2nd of June 2019, and the second leg 4th to 6th of June 2019. And then we will know all participating teams of the World Championship 2019 in Japan. For the draw, I would like to invite the Vice President of the EHF, Mr. Predrag Boskovic, the IHF representative executive member, František Taborski, and the EHF Secretary General, Mr. Martin Hausleitner, to come to stage. And as promised, we will start with pot 1. So Franta will take one ball from pot 1, put it into the center, and the second one. First team drawn, Croatia. Against Germany. First pairing, Croatia against Germany. We start with the next pairing. First team is Denmark. Denmark against Switzerland, the second pairing. One second, Martin. Sweden is the first team in the third match with home right in the first leg. And they will have to play against Slovakia. The first team for the fourth match, Belarus. Against Norway. The fifth match, starting with Serbia, home right in the first leg. Against Poland. Serbia, Poland. The sixth match starts with Czech Republic. And they have to face, in the playoff matches, the team of Montenegro. The next playoff match will be played between EHF Macedonia against Slovenia. Austria opens the last but one playoff match. Hungary. And the last match with home right in the first leg for Spain. Spain against Iceland completes the draw for the playoff matches 2019. As you can see on the screen, and I would like to summarize, we have the matches Croatia against Germany, Denmark against Switzerland, Sweden against Slovakia, Belarus, Norway, Serbia against Poland, Czech Republic against Montenegro, EHF Macedonia against Slovenia, Austria against Hungary, and Spain against Iceland. Thank you very much, Predrag. Thank you, Franta. Thank you, Martin. Thank you all for your attention, and enjoy the last match day tomorrow. And I hand over the mic again to my colleague, JJ.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen here in Paris, also those watching at home. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We have two rather important games tomorrow, as we have the bronze medal match and the final match here in Paris. Please tune in. We're very grateful that you were here today, and we look forward again to seeing you tomorrow. Goodbye. For those here in Paris, in person, we would like to invite you to the EHF lounge, where there's a bite to eat and a drink. Thank you.